Welcome to another video in the series Learning from the Newspaper. In this video, we'll look at an article which touches upon the importance of values and culture in an organization. This article has the title Companies Should Walk the Talk on Values to Create the Right Culture, and was published in the Economic Times on 23rd September 2017. So let us look at the article. Billionaire industrialists Harish Mariwala and Ajay Piramal. So this guy here is Mr. Ajay Piramal and this guy is Mr. Harsh Mariwala. So Mr. Harsh Mariwala runs the company Marico Industries, while Mr. Ajay Piramal runs the Piramal Enterprises. Piramal Enterprises is into pharmaceuticals and finance, while Marico Industries is primarily into FMCG. FMCG is fast moving consumer goods. So coming back to the article, billionaire industrialists Harsh Mariwala and Ajay Piramal said organization values and culture were key to becoming an industry leader. So they're talking about what are the key factors to become an industry leader and how the organizational values and culture key to becoming an industry leader. And they go on to say that these are the key factors in becoming an industry leader: attracting talent, improving employee performance, and gaining market integrity and trust. At the ET India Leadership Council meeting in Mumbai on Friday. Now the next paragraph talks a little bit about the India Leadership Council. So the India Leadership Council, a membership-based engagement platform with access restricted to a select group of companies, aims to achieve the goal of building the country's overall business environment and developing business leadership. Now Mr. Mariwala, chairman of Marico, said he started crafting values for his firm as early as the 1990s, once the business started to grow and professionals started taking up top management positions. This helped the company's management imbibe the culture from the top. So basically, as the head of the organization, Mr. Mariwala decided to create and list the values that his organization is going to follow very early in 1990s, as soon as the business started to grow and top professionals started coming into the organizations. We had recruited 30 to 40 people at senior and top level within 6 months to an year. They came with a different set of beliefs in terms of leadership styles and behaved in a different manner. That forced me to write down initial thoughts on what should our values be, said Mr. Mariwala. So basically what he is saying here is, when the business started to grow, he recruited a lot of people at the senior management level. Now these people at the senior management level came from different cultures. For example, let's say some organizations can go to any length in order to bag an order from the customer. They can spend thousands of dollars in entertainment expenses towards making the customers happy, while other organizations do not believe in that. They do not believe in taking their customers for entertainment or spending a lot of money to impress them. They believe in more ethical ways of doing business. So these are two different value systems. So as a leader of the organization, when a lot of people started joining the organization, Mr. Mariwala said, okay, let me now list down what are the values that we will use to run this organization. Because everybody has a different thought process, and sometimes these different thought process has a justification to be followed. For example, the organization which is believing in spending a lot of money towards entertaining the customers may have a justification that they want to be profitable at any cost, because businesses are run to make profits. While the other organization may say that we do not believe in just making profits, we have a social responsibility to be ethical. So let's move on with the article. When developing a culture, the top 2 or 3 layers of management are very important. So basically, the leadership team plays a key role in setting the culture of the organization. The fact that values were discussed with them got their minds. So basically, when he started writing down the values, he started discussing with them, and then they got interested. Mr. Mariwala said the values have to be reinforced through a regular mechanism. So once you have noted down the values, how do you proliferate that in the organization so that everybody in the organization starts believing in them and starts following them? So Mr. Mariwala says that the values have to be reinforced through a regular mechanism, not via a board placed at the reception or in conference rooms. So don't just place a board with the values listed on them at the reception or in the conference rooms. The value of meritocracy started reflecting in recruitment practices at a time when Marico was perceived as a family managed company. So one of the areas where Mr. Mariwala wanted some of the values to make an impact was the recruitment practices in his organization. He wanted the value of meritocracy to be followed. While his organization was a family managed company, and typically people have the perception about family managed companies that the relatives of the owner are the ones who are going to get key positions and get promoted. So Mr. Mariwala wanted to change that perception, and he brought in the value of meritocracy. So whoever is the most deserving should get the reward. He brought in professionals, started a leadership development program, and made Marico's headquarters open office plan to enforce trust and transparency. So trust and transparency was another value which he wanted to imbibe within the organization. So he enforced an open office culture where anybody could approach the senior management, so that it inculcates the value of trust and transparency within the organization. Now Mr. Piramal, chairman of pharmaceutical and finance company Piramal Enterprises, started the discussion by giving the example of notorious lawyer Edward J. O'Hare, who turned in evidence against his own client, mobster Alphonse Gabriel Capone, in 1931. So instead of saving his own client, once the lawyer realized that his client was actually guilty, he proved that he is guilty by providing evidence against him. So he is believed to have turned honest to teach his son values of honesty and integrity. So honesty and integrity are also very important values. Now his son goes on to become a national hero in World War II. So the value of honesty and integrity that his father imbibed in him helped him become a national hero in World War II. So Mr. Piramal says that values create economic value for businesses across industries. He, however, warned that companies have to walk the talk on values to create the right culture. So, what is walk the talk? So, walk the talk means whatever you are saying you are going to do, you should actually do that. So, if you do not do what you say you are going to do, then it can create a further negative culture in the organization. So, if you are saying that these are the values that I or my organization is going to follow, then you have to follow them. And you have to go to any extent to follow those values and the culture. People say values are expensive, but I say they create economic value. We have been successful in buying and selling companies because we have a reputation of fulfilling deal terms in letter and spirit. So he says that these values, when followed rigorously, will create a reputation in the industry, which will lead you to much more advantageous and profitable business in the long run. So he goes on to say that when we exited the textile business, we paid our bankers and laborers. We must have been the only company to do that, Piramal said, referring to the demise of Mumbai's textile industry after a long labor strife in the 1980s when almost all mills went bankrupt. Now, Mr. Mariwala and Piramal also touched upon how purpose and challenging assignments were important factors in attracting and retaining talent. So basically, they're saying that if you want to retain talent, you have to give the employees challenging assignments and a sense of purpose. When other business leaders ask them about retaining millennials who are changing jobs more frequently, when you give them challenges and new opportunities, they stay. Always give them more than they can do, said Piramal. Concurring with Piramal, Mariwala said, millennials take purpose of their work very seriously. So basically they keep on asking, why am I doing this? How is this going to benefit the organization? How is this going to benefit the society? And so on. So you have to give them work which has a meaningful purpose and are challenging at the same time. Companies have to change their culture if they want to attract young talent. So basically he's saying that culture is very important to attract young talent also. So with this we come to the end of this article. Hope you have found this article interesting and enriching. I request you all to post your comments and your experiences so that others can also benefit from them. Thank you.